Most people are not thinking, they're reacting. They drift with the wind wherever it blows today. They mistake movement for meaning and noise for knowledge. But if you can learn to be still, if you can stand firm when others sway, if you can walk with purpose when others run in panic, then, my friend, you are already wiser than most. Not because you are better, but because you are rooted. I've seen this over the years. The brightest minds often lose their way, not for lack of thought, but for lack of anchor. They move fast, but forget to ask, is this the right direction? They speak boldly, but never stop to listen inward. They look outside for answers, but never ask the one who lives within. The truth is, wisdom is not always loud. Sometimes it walks slowly, sometimes it whispers, and sometimes it feels like doing nothing when the world is racing. But it is in that pause, that patience, that you quietly become stronger than 90% of people. Not louder, just deeper.
You've seen it, and so have I. People with good hearts, kind hearts, yet they walk through life like boats without rudders, pushed by emotion, pulled by pressure, tossed by every tide of opinion. They don't mean to drift, but they've forgotten how to steer. And why? Because they've let go of the inner compass, that small, steady guidance that doesn't shout but knows, that gentle direction planted by God Himself. Most people, even the successful ones, are chasing everything but direction. They chase the crowd, not the call. They chase applause, not alignment. They ask, what are others doing, instead of what was I made to do? And when the soul forgets its center, even the smartest minds go in circles. But here's the quiet truth. You don't have to live that way. You weren't made to drift. You were made to stand. You were made to walk upright, eyes lifted, heart anchored, even when others run blindly toward the next distraction. Wisdom isn't just about answers. It's about awareness. It's about knowing who you are, whose you are, and walking in that truth even when it's unpopular. Because sometimes the wisest person in the room is the one who doesn't move at all. There's no secret formula, no lightning strike that suddenly makes you wiser than the rest. But over a lifetime of walking with people, praying with them, watching them rise or fall, I found 3 quiet powers, traits so rare and yet so simple that anyone who practices them soon finds themselves walking a very different path than the crowd. Number 1 is, you wait when others rush. The world rewards speed, but wisdom honors timing. Most people make decisions in a hurry, say things they don't mean, buy things they don't need, and enter seasons they were never meant to be in. But the wise person waits. Not in laziness, but in faith. They trust that some doors don't open by force, only by patience. They know that delay is not denial, and that still waters often run deepest. Number 2, you listen more than you speak. In a noisy world, silence is a superpower. Most people talk to prove something.
But wise people listen to understand. They're not in a hurry to correct, to impress or to dominate. They are present, truly present, and in that presence they gain insight most miss. Because when you stop needing to be heard, you begin to hear what others can't. And when you listen deeply, not just with your ears, but with your heart, you are trusted, respected, and remembered. Number 3, you live from conviction, not crowd approval. Many live like weather vanes, turning with every breeze of opinion, but the wise walk with quiet conviction. They don't need everyone to agree. They don't adjust their values for convenience. They are rooted in principle, in faith, in purpose. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. And because they don't need to be liked, they are free to be true. These 3 habits, waiting, listening, and living from conviction, will quietly set you apart from 90% of the world. Not because they make you superior, but because they make you whole. Let me tell you something this world has forgotten. You don't outsmart people by being clever. You outsmart them by being kind. Now that may not sound impressive in a world obsessed with winning, but I've lived long enough to see it clearly. The strongest, sharpest minds are often brought low, not by weakness, but by pride. And the ones who rise quietly, who are trusted, remembered, and followed, they are the ones who carry love in their decisions. You see, most people live on defense. Their hearts are guarded, their words are sharp, and their energy is built around self-protection. But the wise, they open their hands. They forgive first. They speak gently, even when firm, not because they're naive, but because they're free. They're not bound by grudges. They don't carry the weight of bitterness. And they don't need to win arguments to feel strong. Love, real, patient, spiritual love, confuses the proud, disarms the angry, and elevates the quiet soul above all the noise. So yes, you can outthink people, but when you outlove them, you walk in a wisdom they'll never understand. There's something remarkable I've noticed through the years. It's not the loudest voice that sees the farthest. It's the quietest one. Because clarity doesn't come from chaos. It comes from stillness. Most people think life is a sprint, a race to be first, loudest, most visible. But the ones who truly understand where they're going are not the ones running fastest. They're the ones who stop, look around, and ask, where is God leading me? When your soul is quiet, you begin to see what others miss. You see danger before it arrives. You feel peace where others feel pressure. You notice the detour that saves you from disaster. Stillness is not passive, it is powerful. Because when the world is racing toward the edge, it takes divine wisdom to slow down. And when you do, when you refuse to live on impulse and instead choose to walk with prayerful intention, you begin to move with grace and arrive exactly where you're meant to be. Friend, you were not made to panic your way through life. You were made to walk with God. And the one who walks in step with heaven will always outlast the one running with the world. My dear friend, you don't need to raise your voice to be heard. You don't need to be everywhere to matter. You don't need to be perfect to walk in wisdom. What you need is to be still, still enough to hear the voice of truth within you, still enough to remember what truly lasts, still enough to see the difference between what is urgent and what is eternal. In a world full of reaction, be someone who responds with prayer, with patience, with purpose. In a world chasing recognition, be someone who seeks alignment. And in a world built on pride, be someone who chooses humility, the kind that stands tall before God, even while kneeling. I bless you today with quiet confidence, with deep clarity, with a heart strong enough to love, and a mind calm enough to lead. You don't need to outrun anyone. You only need to stay rooted in truth and let your life speak gently, powerfully, and clearly. You will outsmart 90% of people, not by being louder, but by walking with peace. God bless you, and may stillness go with you wherever you are.